God, you look good. We're so happy to have you here. We're so happy to have seen all of your applications and be so proud to give you the opportunity to join us today. So I am, as you know, the faculty director of the Albright Institute, and I'm here to tell you a few things about the overarching theme and some thoughts about how we selected it and what is behind that. So, as you know by now very well, this year's overarching theme is harnessing the power of technology, truth and trust in a world transformed. Too many terms there, indicating I don't know what. As Joanne listed so nicely, we have lined up an amazing collection of speakers of all types of expertise. We have politicians, social scientists, natural scientists, humanists, engineers, activists, business people, doctors, journalists, professionals, and all they are coming from all over the world. Some are well established, others are promising scholars. But all of them are passionate about their area of expertise and willing to share their knowledge and insight with you. So, in the past Wintersessions, it is the time of the faculty director to kind of guide you through the program and tell you all of the speakers we have and all of these things. But being Wellesley students, I am sure that you have already gone through the list many times, so you probably already remember it by heart. I'm not going to do that. I'll save you some time, so I figure I'll do something else instead. I will try to challenge you on your view of technology and discuss why really we included it into the overarching theme. Sounds good? All right. What's your favorite technology? If I had to risk a guess, I would say it's Facebook. After all, over 2 billion people are on it right now. And I know that many college students check Facebook in every moment just in case something important happened that you might miss, the so-called FOMO. Okay, what's my favorite technology? Yeah. If you know my area of expertise, I'm interested in the way misinformation propagates online, and with my team of colleagues at the computer science department, we have developed Twitter trails. So you might have guessed, okay, that's Twitter. No, that's the president's favorite technology. There are rumors that there are times during the day that he's not on Twitter, but they're unverified for the moment. The way I asked you about your favorite technology, I led you to think of a particular type of technology, communication technology, the type that everybody is talking about these days. If you mention to anybody, you know, today's technology, that's what they think. But there are many other type of technologies that we use constantly and would not realize. You see, technology is a term that is used to refer to several different things, some tactile, some conceptual. Technology is a composite word. The word comes from Greek technologia, from techni plus logos, meaning the systematic treatment of art and craft. Art and craft. That's almost everything that people do. Looking around you, you will see that we are surrounded by the products of technology. The building we are in, the vehicles that brought us here, the heating that, thank God, keeps us alive in these frigid temperatures, the chairs that you're sitting on, the books that you have on your tables, the clothes we wear, even the material of those clothes. This microfiber technology is amazing, isn't it? All of them are products of technology. But we do not think of them as technology anymore. They are part of us. You see, the moment some technology becomes adopted and normalized, it disappears from our view. Yet, there were times in history in which concrete was the technology that enabled the building of Rome. The steam engine was the technology that allowed Americans move from coast to coast. The printing press was the technology that allowed millions, actually billions of people to get educated around the world. The loom was the technology that allowed ancient people to keep themselves warm in the winter. And the list of invisible technologies goes on and on. I'm sure if you start thinking about that, you will fill up pages and pages. So, what's my favorite technology? My favorite technology is writing. The development of writing, the technology of recording speech on a permanent medium using symbols, mutually understandable symbols, was a major achievement that allowed people to pass on information to future generations. Without writing, we were completely dependent on our very limited ability to memorize and to communicate only face-to-face. It is through written words that we produce literature, one of the most prominent examples of art. So, it's not an exaggeration to say that with the help of technology of writing, we created civilizations. Writing also allowed the creation of, make sure I don't miss a page, of powerful religions that were founded on the fact that we could record moral rules, thoughts, and ideas. That we could declare what is good and what is bad. I'm talking about the power of scriptures. If an idea is written down, it could be transmitted to future generations. It could be followed to the letter. In the beginning was the Word, some religions start, but it was only when the Word became written that held real power. Without the technology of writing, we wouldn't have any of the religions we know today. Writing is an extremely powerful technology. It can create art, civilization, religion. The development of technology was not always considered a good thing, positive. Consider, for example, the Egyptian myth that describes how writing was given to people. The Egyptian god Thoth asked Pharaoh Thamus to disperse writing as one of the god's gifts to people. The god remarks that writing is good. It is a remedy for the memory. But the Pharaoh responds that its true effects are likely to be negative. Writing is a remedy for reminding, not remembering, he says. Writing has the appearance of wisdom. It's not wisdom itself. Future generations will hear much without being properly taught and will only appear wise without really being wise. Somehow I think you have heard such arguments about the use of the web and search engines these days. When I was your age, I heard these arguments about the use of television, and my parents heard these about radio. We always try to categorize technologies in a moral light as good or bad. Keep that in mind. Most people, however, think of technology as the application of scientific knowledge and mathematics for practical purposes, especially in the engineering industry. We think of it as an application, as something we use, as a tool. What is particularly impressive in that Egyptian myth is that it suggests that writing is not just a tool. It can enhance our weak memory. Writing can transform who we are. It can have a major effect on us. The myth is a very old one. It's over 2,000 years old. Yet, it is not the first time that a myth describes a technology that can transform people. Consider the myth of Prometheus, the god who created humans and gave them an important gift. He gave them fire. He gave them the ability to control fire. In ancient times, there was no patent office for tech developments. Gods were holding all the IPs. I learned the myth of Prometheus in elementary school, and I thought that controlling fire meant that humans would be able to keep themselves warm in the cold, right? But my teachers gave another reason. Controlling fire gave people the ability to cook their food. Cooking is central to every civilization, sure. But cooking is much more powerful than that. Cooking is foundational to human evolution. I am now referring to the work of Susanna Herculano Hausel, the neuroscientist famous for counting the number of neurons in the brains of animals. She observed that humans have billions more neurons than any other species of the same size or even larger size than us. She counted that humans have about 86 billion neurons, and the next relative species is no more than 50. And she says, cooking is what makes humans special. Actually, she says something more remarkable. Only humans cook, and that's how we came to be human. What is she talking about? Having a brain is very expensive to operate in terms of energy. So you need a lot of food for it, to use it. Our brain requires that we spend 25% of our daily energy operating it. A quarter of the energy you use every day goes to your brain. Other primates have much fewer neurons, and yet to maintain their smaller brains, they need to spend more than 8 hours just feeding and digesting raw food. Humans use fire to break down the food, and so they can digest and use it within a few hours. That not only gives us more energy, it gives us more time. Without cooking, we would not be able to develop such a large brain. Cooking is what made us Homo sapiens, thinking people. In other words, the technology of controlling fire is what made us humans. Without it, we would not have made it as a species. Of course, we do not think of fire as technology anymore. We do not think of writing as technology anymore. Once they are adopted, technologies cease to be technologies. They become invisible. But this is exactly what they are. The species that cannot develop technologies are not humans. It is mind-boggling, but we are the children of technology. And as the Prometheus myth suggests, it's not a new observation. Ancient peoples did realize it and gave it divine powers. They name it the gift of gods. I find it amazing that ancient people had realized something that I think we come to realize only recently with this kind of scientific work. So let's get back to 2018. Are we changing as a species now that we're using the new communication technologies all the time? Are we changing now that we're using Facebook every hour? Are we changing when we read tweets? Our perception of what is real and what is not is changing. Our ability to decide who to trust and who to fear is changing. Are we changing as a species? I'm not sure of it yet, but the thought that these communication technologies are transforming who we are feels rather unsettling. We are now developing technologies that make it almost impossible to distinguish what is true and what is not. We're all dismayed by the use of false statements, fake photographs, mislabeled videos by people with interest in compromising our ability to reason and our ability to choose our leaders. From populist leaders and authoritative state organizations to opportunists who seek to make a profit by delivering our attention span to advertisers and propagandists. Our sense of reality is changing every day. Anyone who thinks that we can control that may want to take a look at the video on futureoffakenews.com, where you would see a video of President Obama created automatically through stock videos, claiming that after he left office, he will spend his time playing golf. If you're not able to believe even what you see with your eyes, something serious happens in our brain. I believe that we are at a crucial crossroads in our human history. They are crucial as the ability to control fire, I think. We are developing artificial intelligence and robotics that replace not just our muscular abilities, but also our mental abilities, like controlling fire did. Before I proceed, let me comment quickly on what is artificial intelligence, AI as we fondly call it, because it is a buzzword that sometimes is thrown around carelessly. AI is a branch of computer technology that aims to create solutions to problems so complicated that we cannot even define well. One particular area of AI that has demonstrated great success recently is deep learning. It is a machine learning technique, means that the computer somehow figures out the algorithm, figures out the method without direct instruction by humans. And deep learning is based on simulating neurons, simulating neural activity. Deep learning algorithms take in millions of examples of tasks we have completed and decisions we have made in the past, individually or collectively, and tries to independently identify patterns behind how we completed these tasks or we made these decisions. AI is developing these opaque algorithms with great success. They even copy our worst biases, because our biases are in the patterns of what these algorithms are finding. It's pretty much statistical methods looking at what we do repeatedly. So we're now developing technologies that produce self-driving cars, simplifying our transportation, but taking away many of the jobs of truck drivers and taxi drivers. We're developing technologies that translate between languages with tremendous accuracy, simplifying our communication, but taking away the jobs of many translators. We're developing technologies that understand legal language and search through billions of documents, simplifying legal procedures, but possibly taking away the jobs of many lawyers. We're developing technologies that make medical diagnoses and decisions that can create better care, but may affect the jobs of many medical specialties like radiologists. We're developing technologies that can fight wars remotely with intelligent robots, saving lots of human lives, but dramatically reducing the role, number, and importance of soldiers. These are just some examples and possibilities. How will these technologies be used, and who will control them? I think that the Industrial Revolution, with all its amazing developments, never came close to the possibilities of AI revolution. What could world economies look like in the coming years if increasing number of people may not have jobs? AI technologies are producing amazing financial benefits, but its benefits are not realized by most people. Who will benefit from them? Certainly not the vast majority of people who see themselves working in the gig economies as many hours as their parents worked in industrial economies, yet earning just a fraction of what their parents were earning, with little hope of social and financial advancement. What would democracy look like in the coming years if citizens cannot have control over the benefits of technologies? Capitalism creates inequalities that in authoritative places where citizens have no control of their fate can be devastating. But how about non-authoritative places? In the past few hundred years, we had our democracies, our democratic institutions to rely upon for defending against the inequalities that capitalism was developing. It wasn't easy, but we were making progress. Can we still hope that democracies will play this role? Democracies, in order to work for the benefit of all people, need citizens that care about common good, that they are educated and free thinkers, that they are well informed with reliable information and able to make decisions. Future AI technologies can challenge each one of these assumptions. Like technology, democracy is also a composite word. Demokratia comes from demos and kratos, power held by citizens. As long as democracy is really the rule of the land, we can collectively make the decisions that can help us all, or we can fight for it. Can we still hope that our democracies will operate to benefit us all? The future does not have to be gloomy. What I described are not predictions, are just possibilities. Possibilities can change once we realize them and work towards choosing the ones that benefit humankind, benefit us all. So let's get to work, will we? In the next 3 weeks, we will embark upon a wonderful trip of learning, discussing, thinking, and producing ideas. As you know, we'll be talking about 8 different themes. I will list them here, though I'm sure you remember them. Nuclear security and warfare, cybersecurity and privacy, refugees and human rights, free press and trust, democratic resilience, effective, accountable, inclusive institutions, climate change mitigation, health, morality, and inequality. Let our understanding of the importance of harnessing technologies be in the background of our thinking. We have lined up some amazing thinkers who I am sure will inspire you to think, collaborate, and produce great presentations like the other 320 Albright Fellows before you. I have been involved with the Albright Institute since the first Wintersession, thanks to the invitation of my good friend now, Joanne. I have been playing this role just for 1 more year, and it has been a tremendous experience, to be given the opportunity of actually think and talk to people and sit and engage with people who care about more or less the same things that you do is one of the best gifts. By the way, I'll make a little parenthesis. The reason we enjoy, first when you learn is painful. You remember how it was in elementary school when you were put down to read, right? But education has multiple effects. The second effect, one effect is that, you get more knowledgeable, you can control the world around you, you can, advance, and so on and so forth. The second effect is that education eventually starts creating pleasure in your brain. The reason that you actually keep doing what you're doing is because you get jolts of adrenaline in your brain, getting excited about that and wanting more, even though, as you know, you have spent already a lot of energy doing what you're doing, right? You're sitting there all the time, yet I bet you're already tired because you are using a lot of energy right now. So I am sure you're looking forward to it as much as I am. Thanks for being here, and thanks for listening to me.